Too much stuff up here.
Good evening. I would like to call the Tuesday, August 21st, 2018 City Council meeting to order. If you'll rise for our invocation and our pledge that will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, give us the power to clearly discern right from wrong. Allow our words and actions to be governed thereby and by the laws of this land. We ask for your inspiration to strive in our endeavors to serve the public. We also ask that you direct us so that above all things we will discharge our duties to the benefit of the people that we serve. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and once again, welcome. We're missing a cylinder. Gabby McGee is at her annual conference, I think it is, out in Vegas. She's dying to get back here. She misses it back here, so it is an excused absence. Our first item on tonight is the Citizens Open Forum. We only have a couple of rules. Keep it to no more than 5 minutes. State your name and address clearly for the record, and let your phone ring.
I'll get it.
You gonna phone in your comments?
Oh, I'm trying to get it down so it won't bother you.
You want me to start over?
Go ahead.
Keep it to no more than 5 minutes, and you can address anything on the agenda
For items 8 and 9.
except for items 8 and 9. Those are public hearing items, and we'll ask for your comments at that time. Having said that, anybody on this side of the room like to address the council? Nope. Anybody on this side like to address the council? Yep. Mr. Clark?
Okay, Matt Clark from 501 Pine Avenue South. Okay, first of all, I won't be staying long tonight because I'm picking my daughter and my daughter-in-law up from the airport from Australia and New York. One's coming in from there.
Nice.
First of all, I want to thank Al Braithwaite for, and I think a lot of other people within the city in regards to the stop sign on Bayview Drive. I pulled up there the other day and I stopped and I gave away and I looked around and I went, what was I complaining about? But I didn't realise they'd moved the lines forward, so thank you, Al. Okay, for right here I got Father Christmas's Naughty and Nice books, and in the nice book I found none of your names. No, not really. The neighbours that live next door to us moved out of their house and they left a lot of stuff behind, as you know. But before they moved out, I found these books that they were going to throw out, and it's the Pinellas Platt books from like 1982 or something like that. And it's got all of Oldsmar in there. So
Wow.
I wanted to donate it to the Historical Society, or you can throw them out, but it's got all the maps and the changes for the last.
Wonder how they would have wound up with them.
He was a real estate agent, I believe, and he had something to do with something.
They give a lot of them away.
Yeah.
They throw them away.
So I don't know who to.
Historical Society will
Yeah.
take those for sure.
They just take it to them or leave them
Or,
here?
yeah, uh-huh.
We'll get them to
Yeah.
No, you can leave it to Clerk.
Sorry.
You can leave it with Ann.
Okay, not a problem. What else? Okay. There's a few things in here that I'm going to leave out, and I'll deal with that another time. So, as of today, I took my citizenship
Nice.
for the United States, and I wanted to say that America's given me a really good gift, and I want to give something back, and I want to announce that I'm running for City Council.
Awesome. Good for you.
What else? That's the last one. Okay, and the other thing is to, in regards to the Great Palm Tree scandal of 2018, the residents on Pine would like to thank Al and Felicia in regards to getting that resolved. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you.
And leave them up there.
Yeah.
That's it.
And hope the flights are on time.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Anybody else in the room like to address the council? Seeing no one, we'll close the Citizens Open Forum. A couple of mayor minute items. Recap, the Chamber Legislative Luncheon. Thank you to the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber for hosting their annual legislative luncheon. Council budget work session. Thank you to the city staff for their preparation and assistance during our 2018-2019 budget work session. I thought it went really well, and I know Al and his team take a lot of pride in putting together an award-winning budget, actually. So the Pinellas County Administrator candidates attended a luncheon hosted by Pinellas County. I attended with Felicia and Al for local businesses and governments to meet the final 4 candidates stated for the county administrator position. For those that don't know, Mark Woodard, the current county administrator, will be retiring later this year. Congratulations to the county's final candidate, Barry Burton, who currently serves as the county administrator for Lake County, Illinois. And I don't remember exactly, but we are a county of 24 cities, and he runs a county of 52 cities. So a lot of transportation issues that they deal with, and similar issues with people going from his county into the city of Chicago and vice versa. So very similar things. But also the Florida League of Cities annual conference. It was my honor to attend my final conference of mayor of the city of Oldsmar, I think, and I'm sure Dan will talk about it later in our comments, but I got to say it was probably one of the best conferences that I went to. Well-structured, great topics, great speakers, and it really hit home. The one thing that I did find, as we've all talked about home rule, is that as we were posting from the conference pictures and what have you, a couple of comments said, "What is home rule?" So I think maybe some of the education needs to really be on. We all know what it means, but to the common person, it doesn't. But basically, it means it's, the governance closest to the people is the most powerful for the people, or whatever that saying is. And Tallahassee's trying to strip us from that. I'll give you one quick example that we went to the vacation rentals, and I can't remember what the county was or the city municipality, but some of their vacation rentals, they're advertised as being able to accommodate up to 99 people in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And they're struggling somewhere as 40 and 50. They're taking dining rooms and converting them into bunk rooms, with bunk beds all over. Being bought by, people outside the area. So they're working on some local legislation that will hopefully address that. But Tallahassee, to some people, are really trying to take it away. But we can get it. Dan can talk about it later. And it's only a problem for a few counties in the state, really, when that guy showed the numbers. Like 80% of the vacation rentals are in, 10% of the counties in the state. So it's kind of interesting. Upcoming events, the Chamber 19th Hole Mixer. Look forward to seeing the city and Empower Adventures to Tampa Bay Hole at Jack Willie's for this event. It's a great event and good socializing event. Mobile Electronics and Chemical Collection. I got to remember to get my paint out. Saturday, August 25th, 9 to 2 at the North County Satellite Center, 29582 US 19, located behind the North County Government Center, just south of Curlew and Home Depot and next to GTE Credit Union. Celebrate Oldsmar. Both days feature carnival beer, beer garden, food vendors. Friday, August 31st, 5 to 10. Music from Stormbringer. Saturday, September 1st, 12 to 10. Featuring barbecue wing cook-off. 2 to 4 p.m. A VW Bug on the Bay car show. 2 to 6 music. Guest is the Soul Circus Cowboys. And of course, finished by some of the best fireworks in the Bay Area Saturday night. Holiday closures. All city offices, facilities, and libraries will be closed Monday, September 3rd in observance of Labor Day holiday. Normal business resumes on Tuesday, September 4th. So that wraps up the Mayor's Minute. We have nothing. Sorry, I forgot we changed the order. Awards and recognitions. Our first item is the presentation of the Council Manager Award for August of 2018, and Councilmember Beaverland will do that. And I just want to, for the record, indicate that he said if I didn't talk as much, he would not talk as much tonight as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, but you've always started.
I have to run the meeting.
Not that long.
Yeah. I was going to say it at the end anyway.
But I do want to say one thing, Mayor, because you commented on it, and I've seen some people look at me kind of funny. This is caused by 6.5 years of 2 cancers. Now I have to cut my hair this way because the radiation of 2 cancers over 6 years I almost look like you. And then like this guy
like
over
Dan?
here, So, if it looks funny, I don't care, it's my hair. You guys in the back, come up. Nan?
Too quiet for you? Is that what you're saying?
Ben, you're right, buddy.
Yeah. We're just getting started.
You're still looking better than mine, so don't worry.
You got more than Benji does,
Yeah.
except with Benji's is by choice.
Tell you what, these guys are going to say, not all here, but I want to tell you right up front. You're not going to get one of these tonight, but each one of you are getting one of these. And if you don't get one, lame man. Because she will have something, they're being made.
Can you grab the microphone? Thank you, Nan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I don't know what I'd do without you. Nan,
I bet I do.
have them introduce themselves.
Mo.
You do.
Mo, DNC lead.
Bill, distribution and collections.
Joe, distribution and collections.
I'm Ben, supervisor for distribution and collections.
And Thomas Adams, DNC.
See, I had to ask what distribution and collection was because you all keep changing your name. Just a minute. Hand me that. No, this. They're heroes. They're heroes. When you have a water leak, these are the guys that come out. You know how many water leaks I've had in front of my house in 52 years? I have about 15 of these. And these guys come out and fix it. It can be raining, it can be hotter than whatever.
2 in the morning.
Nan knows this, and you all know this. If you don't know this, remember it. Y'all make us look good. We don't do that much. We sit up here twice a month and we raise our hand up like that and we look real with suits on. And and then we go home and you all make us look good. Thank you for all you do. I really do thank you. I've dealt with y'all for almost 28 years. New guys retire, newer guys come on. You are the face of Oldsmar. And we get comments all the time about how you treat our customers. Don't we?
Yes, sir.
Don't you? Won't you?
So this is distribution and collection. They maintain all of our water distribution systems, everything outside of the plants, and they also maintain the sewer collection system. You've got 10 guys total, right?
Short one right now.
Okay, yeah, okay, and right, not everybody's here, but there's a grand total of 10 people that maintain that for the whole city. So it is a big job. And if they're doing their job, you guys don't even notice that anything's going on. It's only when something goes wrong that you notice, but they do it most of the time so that everything works and the rest of us don't have to worry about it.
And that's what's so good about, everybody's gonna get one of these. That's what's so good about it. You don't even know what they do. It's like the fire department. Only when you need them. Thank you all. You want to say it? Thank you. This goes in your shop somewhere, and then each one of you will get one with your name on it. Thank you. And if we do this, I'm going to give you all this one. I don't need any more.
And in a couple months, we won't need them over there at all.
You need a
That's right. After 52 years, I'm going to get water out of my tap that doesn't have rust and dirt in it. I'm so happy. And you're going to start on my street last, right?
Ben, has that still got some life left in it, looks like? Well, yeah.
Recycle.
Clamp over it.
Can you squeeze a little more?
Up to the left.
There we go. There we go.
One more.
Okay.
Never fails.
Thank you.
Next item is our CRA. We don't have anything in that this evening, so we'll go on to our consent docket. We have a couple of items. Approve payment to legal counsel. Approve the Pinellas County Interlocal Service Agreement for traffic control signals and related devices. Approve agreement for general engineering services for utilities, 2018-007-RFQ with Jones Edmonds and Associates Incorporated and King Engineering Associates Incorporated, and approve the tentative agenda for September 4th, 2018. If nobody wishes to pull anything, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you. Next is the City of Oldsmar. This one's a little sketchy. Approve the reappointment of Frank Chicola as a board member of the Board of Adjustments. Eddie, watch this guy if you could, please. Frank, come on up. Keep an eye on him.
I already got my
shirt.
Y'all need to know something about Frank. You already know it. This guy served in Vietnam. He has 3 Purple Hearts, and the 3rd one sent you home.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for. Somebody got any comments, questions? How are things going?
He accomplishes that, and we put him on the Board of Adjustments. That just doesn't seem right.
I could tell you a story when Frank and I first met. It was like 2 bulls in a china closet.
Yes. It's when I was president of that other association.
Any comments? What's going on? How's things with Gus?
Great, really going good. I don't know if he's been watching Channel 8. Steve Andrews, he had that big thing going with that Kilpatrick. He was a veteran from, I think it was Okinawa, or one of them. And he came down with a cancer, and he was being denied steadily. And then he came to our office, and we got him his benefits. His wife got a check for $250,000. So it's those things that you feel good about, you know. So.
And it's not part of tonight's thing, but just for the millions of people watching at home, what do you do for Gus?
I do all his compensation claims, all the ones through the VA. I do that, and I do it also at the vet center.
I'm going to tell you something, Mayor. I've known him a long time. In fact, I got him in with Gus. He has gotten more money for veterans than I would imagine anyone. Veterans that could not do anything. In fact, you did it for yourself. That could not get through to the bureaucracy. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you. The big problem is most veterans don't even know what their benefits are. So that's what we're trying to get the word out to them.
Yeah.
But
any questions of Frank? How's the Board of Adjustments going?
Board of Adjustment's going good. You know, when we do meet, we don't meet all that often, but we've had no problems at all on it.
Good. If no questions, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Thank you. Passes 4. Thanks, Frank.
All right, thanks.
Oh, another sketchy
right
one
here.
here. Are you two sitting next to each other? I hope not. Next is the appoint Susan Oliver as an alternate member of the Planning Board. Were you an alternate member, or is this a new thing?
It's a new thing.
Oh, and what makes you decide to want to do that, Miss Oliver?
I'm a homeowner. I've lived here 10 years. A lot of changes are happening in Oldsmar, and I like watching how we're growing. It's
Yeah.
an opportunity, so
It is
I'm looking
fun,
forward to
whether you're here or
learning.
there, it's fun to be a part of the
Yeah.
process. So which one of you two do the planning board?
I do.
You do? Okay. She gonna be any trouble?
No.
I don't want to. Okay. Any
You're gonna be great on that board.
question, Eric?
Thank you.
No,
You
I'm
really are.
glad that you made the decision to step
I'm
up
glad
and
you
do this.
suggested it.
We had talked about it, and I think Susan in the past has talked about very intelligently some of the concerns of some of the changes. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to address some of the height issues and those types of things and the impact with the new floodplains and that type of stuff. So I'm glad to see that you've stepped up and getting involved to help make it as good as possible. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything? If nothing, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. Thank you.
Wow, it's close.
Ooh, yeah, Gabby would have been a holdout maybe.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
sure,
know.
yeah.
So. Next is our city attorney.
Thank you. I have two items tonight. Item number 8 is the second final reading and public hearing for ordinance 2018-06. I'll read that by title only. Ordinance 2018-06, an ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida, to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east, further described as lot 17, block 9, map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22 28 16 96660 009 0170 into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar and providing for an effective date of this ordinance. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2018-06 by title only.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to address this item? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing for the purpose of discussion. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second? Motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
One at a time.
One at a time. You're finally getting back on track with doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Beverland?
Absolutely.
Mayor Beavis?
Aye.
Ordinance 2018-06, annexing vacant land located in Section 22, Township 28 South, Range 16 East, Lot 17, Block 9, further described as parcel number 22281696600090170 into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar, as it passed and adopted with 4 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. Item number 9 is the first reading and public hearing of ordinance 2018-07. I'll read that by title as well. Ordinance 2018-07, an ordinance of the city of Oldsmar, Florida, amending certain sections of both the Land Development Code and the Town Center Development Code, amending the definition of building height, adding the definition of design flood elevation, amending access design considerations, amending design specifications for access, adding driveway links for single-family and townhome and garden-style residential, and providing an effective date. That was a reading of ordinance 2018-07 by title only. This is the first reading, requires a public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Anybody wish to address this item? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing for discussion. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
No, I'm glad to see that we're cleaning up some of the things that we addressed in our workshop.
Yeah, this is, for the public, this is a result of a workshop that we had 6 or 8 weeks ago. So thanks to all the hard work from Tom and staff and everything else for getting us through that. So if there's nothing further, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Beverland?
Yes.
Mayor Beavis?
Aye.
First reading of ordinance 2018-07, amending certain sections of both the Land Development Code and Town Center Development Code, amending the definition of building height, adding the definition of design flood elevation, amending access design considerations, amending design specifications for access, adding driveway links for single-family and townhome and garden-style residential, passes with 4 votes for and 0 against.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 10 is approve interlocal agreement with Forward Pinellas for planning, mapping, and special project services. The city has a current agreement in existence with the agency formerly known as the Pinellas Planning Council for these services. Forward Pinellas is the agency that resulted from the merging of the PPC and the Metropolitan Planning Organization, or as what we know as MPO. The new agreement reflects some minor changes, updated rates for services, and a list of services that are available to us, but it doesn't obligate the city in any way. It is a 4-year agreement with an option for an additional 4-year extension, and staff recommends approval.
For discussion purposes, a motion?
So move.
Second?
A second.
I knew I was gonna drag you in.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this? This question is probably not an easy answer, but how often do we engage them and what types of things do we engage them?
Have we ever?
Yes. Quite some time ago when we attempted to annex West Oldsmar. They did the background, the study for that.
Okay.
And they've done, like smaller, projects for us too. But not anything recent.
And I don't know the answer to this. You would think I would. I'm on the board of the Forward Pinellas, but this is something that not necessarily all municipalities do, but a lot in Pinellas County
Yes.
retain their services to do that. Are we anticipating using them moving forward to help us with the kind of gap that we have?
Possibly.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, thank you. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye, 4-0.
Item 11 is authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance adopting an amendment to the future land use element of the City of Oldsmar Comprehensive Plan. The laws of Florida, specifically 2012-245, require that all local government comprehensive plans and land development regulations in Pinellas County be consistent with the countywide plan, including the countywide plan map and rules. The most significant part of this amendment is the matrix of Oldsmar City future land use categories, which needs to be incorporated into the countywide plan map. Throughout the document, there are other minor corrections as well, specifically to incorporate the agency name Forward Pinellas, which we talked about before, where previous references were being made to the Pinellas Planning Council. Staff recommends approval, and Marie Dauphiné, our Planning Redevelopment Director, is available to answer any questions.
Motion?
So moved.
Second? Motion and a second. Discussion or questions of staff on this item?
I was just surprised that we haven't updated our plan in as long as it's been since the county updated theirs. What was it, 2015?
2015, there wasn't really a sense of urgency. All it is a matrix. We have our land use plan map categories. They adopted new ones. They said, well, you have a few years to adopt them. And it doesn't really change anything. It just shows that we are consistent. So.
They do this all the time.
Yeah, terminology.
Yeah. Housekeeping, as we like to call it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0.
Item 12 is authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance annexing West Oldsmar Section Number 1, Block 18, Lot 15, also known as Street Adjust 3176 Duane Avenue, parcel ID 22/28/16/96660/018/0150 into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar. With that, I also need to apologize. The cover memo I referenced indicated that this was vacant land. It is not. It has currently developed with a single-family residence on it. Once completed, excuse me, this is another voluntary annexation request. Once completed, the city will have annexed 232 of the 419 parcels in West Oldsmar, which represents 55%. Planning board also recommended that city council authorize the city attorney to prepare this ordinance. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Is this the property behind the strip center? Is that what that is?
Looked like it.
Oh, is that the strip center there?
Is that where Patty's hair thing and all that used to be?
So, no.
No?
I think so. Is it?
What is
It's
it?
on across the way from it.
Yeah, I thought it was.
No, I think that is. I think that is it.
Here you go, here's a picture.
The important thing is we're getting it.
So it's this.
Would you like a motion?
Yeah.
So moved.
Okay.
There's 580.
Second.
Motion is,
No, that's the real tracks.
okay. I used to drive down that all the time. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 4-0, sorry.
One more.
Item 13, accept option for joint project agreement utility installation by roadway contractor, including an increase to the original estimate for the Forest Lakes Boulevard reconstruction and widening project. On May 1st, 2018, City Council approved the entering into a joint project agreement with Pinellas County for the Forest Lakes Boulevard widening project. While the roadway project will be completed and paid for by Pinellas County, The city owns utilities that are located in the county right-of-way, which is in direct conflict with the roadway project and must be moved at the city's expense. At the time the JPA was originally approved, the estimate of cost to be incurred by the city based on engineering design drawings for the utility relocation was approximately $410,000. Now the project has been bid, the county has selected a contractor, which is Pepper Contracting Services, but the bid cost of the utility relocation portion was bid at $484,321, approximately $75,000 greater than the original estimate. The city was provided the opportunity to review and approve the selection, and we are not obligated to accept their selection. However, after reviewing the bid tabulations and evaluating the circumstances surrounding the likelihood for the most productive method of completing the project, staff has decided that it is in our best interest to accept the county selection, finalize the process by notifying them of our acceptance, and providing the funding within 30 days of council acceptance per the agreement. Since the agreement is already executed by all parties, I believe the appropriate motion would simply be to accept the increase to the cost estimate in the agreement, joint project agreement between Pinellas County and City of Oldsmar, County Project ID number 002110A, Forest Lakes Boulevard Reconstruction and Widening Project, for a total not to exceed $500,000. The reason this was brought back to council was the amount of the increase between the estimate and the actual bid. Had this not been an amount that exceeded $25,000, staff would have executed a change order as opposed to presenting it back to council. Staff recommends approval, and Nan Bennett, our Public Works Director, is available to answer any questions.
When do we anticipate them starting?
Nan?
Nan Bennett, Public Works Director. The county schedule calls for starting construction in about December.
And as I recall from the workshop they did up here, 18 months? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
it's a year and a
the
half.
construction
The
schedule.
whole widening.
Have it
and
in
everything.
here somewhere. I don't have it memorized.
18 months.
Yeah, it's a year and a half.
Okay. Motion? So moved. Second?
Second.
Any other questions of staff?
I just want to make sure
sorry.
what the motion is, whether it
It's
was
up to
staff
500.
recommendation up to 500,000.
That's what I motioned.
Okay, thank you.
I did. I was just curious, so the 20% difference. I know that we're kind of, and I agree, I think it's a wise choice to use the vendor that they're using. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a mess probably over there. But when we did the original estimation, did we do that internally? Did we?
No, we used an engineer of record to do that for both the design and the estimate. It was a very, very rushed design. There were bids that came very close within our JPA portion. In fact, one bidder was below what the engineer's estimate was, and two others were within 10%, which is usually where you expect to be. But what we have is a roadway job with a small amount of utilities. So the contractor that had the lowest bid for the roadway work, and then the combination of roadway and the utility work, was more of a roadway contractor. And so you're not always going to get the best prices when that's not the contractor's specialty. Some of the other contractors that specialize more in underground utilities actually gave us very competitive prices, very much in line with our engineer's estimate.
Any other questions?
That definitely needs to be done.
Yeah. Well, it was, as I recall, it was kind of a surprise to us, I guess, and from the initial dialogue, we didn't realize that we were going to have to.
Yeah, it was kind of one of these, the county was, we're going to go do this, widen this, it's outstanding. By the way, you have to pay for your own portion to move certain things.
Yeah.
So it was a $400,000 expense. And just for the citizens,
I was going to say,
what we were talking about in terms of why the increase, really because what we're electing to do is use the county's contractors, since they're going to be doing the entire project, instead of trying to save a little bit of money and have ours come in between, which could turn an 18-month project into a 24-month project, who knows? And so the
cost more
accountability,
potentially.
yeah, it could end up costing more, so.
Knew we were going to have to do this 20 years ago.
Sure.
And if the county had done,
You voted in favor of it 20 years ago? I just wondered.
Oh, don't, Eric.
Come on, you just have to laugh.
tell you a story that,
I know you could.
but I won't,
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
because he's going to get us out of here early tonight.
Just for the people that maybe watch this stuff at home, can you get just a Reader's Digest version of what the work actually is and what people can expect?
Yes, it's, I have some numbers here. we're relocating raw water mains
The
primarily.
entirety of the project, including the Forest Lakes and more
Oh,
what they're gonna,
okay,
kind of
okay.
more what they're gonna see.
Okay, the Forest Lakes roadway project is a road widening project from Pine Avenue to just west of Racetrack Road. And the county is going to go through and add another lane. Essentially, that's the part of Forest Lakes that narrows down to one lane in each direction, and they'll be adding another lane in each direction. But in order to do that, they have some unsuitable soils, and so they're having to remove most of the soils and bring in better soils, because part of the reason the road isn't holding up as well is because of the unsuitable soils. So what that does is they're not just working on the top, they're working several feet, 3-4 feet under, and that's where our utilities are. So that increases the amount of conflicts we have between the roadway project and our buried utilities.
We spent 4 hours here one night with the county, and they were telling everybody that it was going to impact what was going to happen.
Yeah, but they may not have been here, so at least they can watch this. And I guess for those that have lived here a long time, the unsuitable materials and the probably misengineered groundwater levels probably were to contribute to the deterioration of the road. I don't know if you drove it before, but if you had 300 potholes on Forest Lakes Boulevard, you had one. So it was that combination of unsuitable material, and because didn't we have to draw the groundwater down? They did some groundwater
No, they
drawing
didn't.
down?
That's the whole problem. They
No, but
didn't.
I think they did recently. I thought they had done, maybe it was before
Yeah,
you
they
got.
did, but if they'd done it in the beginning, we wouldn't have this
Right,
problem.
so,
So by removing those soils that don't allow the groundwater to find its way down, that will help solve some of those drainage issues, allow the road to be more maintainable over time.
right, okay. That way people that watch this at home, they know.
They get the full picture. You're under attack.
So, Eddie, you keeping an eye on these girls? Okay. My wallet's gone.
Sorry.
Give it back to you if we can get.
Did we vote?
No.
No. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item was to up to 500 for the record.
Thank you. Item number 14, request council approval to sign termination agreement between the City of Oldsmar and CBRE Incorporated for real estate marketing services. In June of 2017, the city entered into an agreement for transactional real estate services, with the idea being that perhaps a marketing firm would increase the likelihood of us finding a development partner for the property next to City Hall. After publishing an RFQ for development of the property in 2018, the city received no proposals. After reviewing the process with CBRE and potentially interested parties that chose not to submit, several reasons were mentioned for their decision not to submit a proposal. Among them was a hesitation to pay CBRE's fee as structured in the agreement. In order to try and regain an opportunity to seek development partners however we see fit, I asked the city attorney to contact CBRE to see if they would be amenable to a termination agreement with what's called a look-back provision, so that we wouldn't be able to approach someone that they may have brought to the project. Tom was successful in negotiating that agreement, which we are asking you to approve tonight. The look-back provision only contained one name, and it is listed in the agreement. CBRE was totally professional about the entire process, and I firmly believe that they were as disappointed as we were that they were unable to generate any proposals for the property from the RFQ. Staff recommends approval. I'm available to answer any questions about the agreement.
Nothing. Nice job, Tom. Motion? Second? And as you
I made
said,
your motion a yes.
yeah.
I know.
It's unfortunate that it didn't pan out the way that we had thought it was going to, so.
Yeah, I think it had the opposite effect that we had hoped
Yeah.
in the end.
At any rate, and I'm glad we were able, Tom did a great job.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And Al, in getting us out of,
Yeah.
so we can continue, otherwise we could have been locked up for, what,
Till June of 2020.
Yeah, so.
Years.
Anyway, motion and second, any other discussion on this? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 15 is the health insurance renewals for fiscal year 2018-2019. Requested motion is to request council approval for the renewal of the contract with the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, or the FMIT, as you may have heard it, for employee medical insurance, the Standard, which is a brand name, for dental and life and AD&D coverage for fiscal year 2018-2019. Note, the life insurance quote is a 2-year renewal, which is odd in that the other two are both for 1 year. As you know, the city provides medical, dental, and life insurance coverages for all full-time employees, as well as offering access to a wellness center where office visits and prescriptions on a restricted basis are free. We also provide a health reimbursement account where employees are given another $1,000 to use for additionally available supplemental coverages as they see fit. The renewal on the medical insurance will increase by 5%, which is exactly what we budgeted, and the dental by approximately 4.1%. There will be no increase to the life or AD&D premium. There are no planned benefit changes for the upcoming year. We partner currently with the City of Tarpon Springs for use of the Wellness Center, and there's 1 more year left in the agreement, which will expire on 9/30 of 2019. Once again, staff recommends approval, and I am available to answer any questions.
Motion for discussion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Is the Wellness Center working out as planned or better, worse?
To describe it as best I can, I would say the results are not as positive financially as we had hoped. And part of that is, I would say, attributed mostly to the fact that the center has had difficulty in retaining a doctor. The bedside manner, for lack of a better term, of the doctor means everything. My wife uses the clinic. She likes the doctor that's there now. She's liked them all. But because of the nature of the clinic not being open 40 hours a week, they either have doctors that are spread too thin between clinics or they have part-time doctors. The doctors love the idea that they're practicing medicine and not practicing pressure from insurance companies, but they're not working enough. So financially, the League of Cities that gave us the startup money to initiate the clinic and then got it back through premiums in the next couple of years. I think we might be the only first dollar, meaning fully insured clinic in the state left. So I have plans for the future, but since we're paying the lease on the building with Tarpon Springs for the actual rent on the facility, that doesn't expire till the end of next year. So we were kind of hoping the renewal premium increase would be reasonable. And no matter what it is, I always think it's too much, but it's exactly what we budgeted, so we're in good shape.
And does your counterpart, Mark, have the same?
Mark and I talk about it at length, and he has some political pressure on him because of the Tarpon's relationship with Helen Ellis.
Yeah, I forgot.
So he's gone through a lot just to be part of this. And I promised him he would know everything we do. I would like, obviously, they're big brother in this. They're 70%, we're 30%. And the whole thing that justifies it for the league is you have to have people to kind of use it for the level of the number of hours you've got the clinic. So this future's going to be an adventure, but I have a plan, and we just want to get through the end of this lease, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do from there. But Mark will be part of the plan if we can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, comments? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Anything else?
Thank you, Mayor.
City clerk has something tonight.
Yes, I do. Item number 16, adopt resolution 2018-12, establishing the candidate qualifying period for the March 12, 2019 municipal election. The qualifying period will start October 16th, 2018 at 8:00 a.m. and end November 16th, 2018 at 5:00 p.m. The current open seats will be mayor, seat 1, seat 2, and seat 4. I'll read the resolution by title only. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar establishing the candidate qualifying period for March 12, 2019 election and providing for an effective date hereof.
I feel like I should vote
adoption
no.
of it.
I feel like I should vote no just for need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City Council, item 17, adopt resolution 2018-11 honoring the 50 years of municipal home rule in the Florida Constitution and committing to an educational initiative to help Floridians understand this benefit right. I kind of touched on it a little bit. I think Councilmember Saraki maybe asked for this. I think it was a big push from the Florida League of Cities to get as many municipalities as they could to do this. It's kind of amazing how you can have, 400 and some cities, municipalities, villages, all, banging the home rule gong, but yet Tallahassee somehow seems to be able to turn deaf ears on them. So you asked for this, so
I'd
I'll.
like to just make a comment here. What happened was, on November 5th of 1968, the Florida passed this resolution to give the power to the local cities. Before that, Al and the city council, not saying Al was there in 1968, but I'm just saying the city manager would have to go to Tallahassee to get something done. This was before 1968. So what we're doing right now is we're just celebrating 50 years of home rule, which allows the local government to make decisions for the people. So if the people have any issues, they come to us in front of here, they talk to us. We, as a council, can make decisions in local government to help our city move forward and grow.
Why did we do that?
What was that?
Why did they do that?
Because
Tallahassee was telling everybody what to do.
Right.
They need to know that.
Yeah, and Tallahassee was taking, if the city of Oldsmar went to Tallahassee before 1968, it was taking weeks, months, maybe a year to get something accomplished. Now we can make decisions here. And one of the things that Doug brought up was the short-term rentals. Thank God that we don't have that issue here in our city. The beaches, they have, like Doug mentioned, it's a nightmare for them. Those poor people are having parties on weekends, there's trash all over the place, and we heard all the horror stories all week during the conference. So this is a resolution from the Florida League of Cities, and I'm in a subchapter, the Suncoast League of Cities, which is Pinellas County and a part of Hillsborough County. And all of us, all the cities, Largo, Dunedin, Clearwater, we're all passing this resolution this week or within the next 2 weeks, so that we can educate the citizens of the city of Oldsmar on what home rule is and how important your voice is to make our city grow. And that's what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some of it was, and to your point about stuff being, they had a lot of different sayings at the League of Cities, but, one of the big ones was, one size does not fit all. We don't have a problem with it. Woody, the mayor of Largo, he doesn't really necessarily have a problem with it, but we do collectively as, a Suncoast League of Cities, we want to support their ability to make decisions as we would want them to support our ability to make decisions on, it's all the way down to, tree trimming. What were some of the other,
How to cut your
CRAs, and a multitude of things that the city, and I know Dunedin, similarly has this, the 5, what is it called? 5G issue.
Yeah.
I know you guys are having a problem with that, and some of the stuff is being mandated. I think that's being almost mandated, isn't it? By state statute,
And
so.
the biggest assault was 2 years ago. That's when Tallahassee was really trying to take away our rights for the voice of the people. They really were trying to do that. And then this past year, what our league did, our Suncoast League of Cities did, is we actually took 2 members each week during the legislation session. And members of our Suncoast League from every city in Pinellas County was in Tallahassee, knocking on doors, meeting with legislators to tell them how important home rule is for our cities so that we have a voice, so that we make decisions on the future of our city.
But it's still going to be a fight.
It's still
Yeah, it
gonna be a
is.
Still
fight.
going to be a fight.
It's
The
still
Gonna be a
speaker,
fight.
the last couple of years was not a big fan
I'm
of home
surprised.
rule.
I'm
And
surprised.
he's
Not a
not
big fan
new.
of anything, really.
I remember when it got passed.
Yeah.
50 years ago, and I'm surprised that Tallahassee didn't do what they thought it was, that it wasn't going to hurt anything, and then it passed. Now Tallahassee's crying about it.
Well, and I think some of the problem, and I think you guys would agree, is part of the problem is a lot of the people that go to Tallahassee have never done what we do in serving in a local government. A lot of them will go there and do what they do and then come back and try and run local government, but they've never sat here and had to talk to people and, hear the horror stories and some of the issues that cities deal with. So,
I'll tell you what, as a rule, after having spent time up in Tallahassee and working on council, I look at someone's record, especially when they're going to Tallahassee, and look in their resume and see if they ever served on a local city council.
Right.
Because those who have tend to be much better legislators to work with, and senators to work with, versus those who haven't had to deal with, I mean, look, people have our home, our cell phone numbers, and they call.
Or they
You know,
Facebook message me.
Yeah, and which is what they should do. Try explaining how we don't have the authority on some things because of statute that's been passed in Tallahassee. It's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
And, there are appropriate uses of their legislative authority. To me, a good example is ride sharing, right?
That was a problem too.
It was a problem. Some of the cities were trying to, prevent it. And take a county like Pinellas, where you go from one city to the next city and the next city and drive through, and they could be completely legislated at the local level. That's a problem. The legislatures needed to step in to
Even it out.
even it out. That makes sense. But the vacation rentals,
Couldn't even go to the airport from here.
and even the 5G antennas, what they did was they mandated that we essentially have to allow them. Now, the crazy thing to me about that was, this is after they've matched funds with us to spend millions of dollars to beautify the roads. And now we just have to allow a tenant to go anywhere in it, I mean, they did modify it some.
They're gonna be hidden, yeah.
But the thing of it
But it
is,
still is, and it wouldn't have gotten modified if there wasn't a bunch of local leaders who went out there and complained about it.
the thing about it is, Tallahassee likes to spend money.
And they're like,
This,
yeah,
you
let's
got
do
it.
it.
I want to say one more thing real fast.
Sorry. Yeah, we could go all night on this. so-
I know, I want to just say one more thing. This resolution, so everyone understands, it's going to be on the city website. The goal of the resolution is to put it on what home rule is on our city website so that the people of the city can be educated and understand exactly the history of it and what it's all about. And
I have a
that's one of the
suggestion.
things.
And I know you, I think you, I'll start over. What does he want to do? He wants to go to our classes?
Oh, Citizens Academy.
You want to go to our Citizens Academy? Okay, listen. Wait a minute. One of the lessons should be presented by whoever
Yeah.
on home rule.
That's great.
There you go.
I understand it.
Yeah, they don't, yeah.
Perfect
they don't.
idea.
Kind of interesting in one thing, and then Tom can read it, the resolution, but we found out while we were down at the Florida League of Cities that the person who wrote the verbiage that Tallahassee was trying to adopt was actually part of VRBO. So it was the vacation rental people that were writing the verbiage to regulate vacation rentals. So we've all been up there. There's a lot of horse trading that goes on up there, and they don't have sunshine laws like they put on us.
I know.
There's a lot of back rooms up there.
I've talked to, and I won't say who, but several of the people at the house level that have told us, I don't know how you guys do it down there without being able to go behind closed doors and work out deals and what have you. So anyway, go ahead if you would read it.
But anyway, put that on the,
That's a good idea.
Great idea.
Okay, so I'll read Resolution 2018-11 by title only. A resolution of the City of Oldsmar honoring 50 years of municipal home rule in the Florida Constitution and committing to an educational initiative to help Floridians understand this beneficial right and providing for an effective date hereof. There was a reading of Resolution 2018-11 by title only.
We had a motion and a second, didn't we?
No.
No, motion?
I
We
don't
did for discussion, no?
No.
Motion,
So move.
second?
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
yes.
Aye.
I have a suggestion. I know he isn't going to like this, but he has a night on the, on our school. Have Tom
Yeah, I mean.
explain the home rule.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Great.
Well, and not only that, but Tom's got experience or his
Oh,
firm
yeah,
does
absolutely.
with, with,
No,
what do you
that's
have, 10
perfect.
or 11, 12 cities that you work with? 9, 4, 6, 8?
10.
10, so. So, you probably have a good sampling of, how one size doesn't fit all.
Oldsmar is the best one.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Till your next meeting. huh?
Lawyers.
Council comments. We'll start with Mr. Beaverland. Please acknowledge the clock.
Okay, you got that right. Get out here by 8 o'clock. Has anybody contacted the 7-Eleven to clean up the jungle they have in front of their house? We've talked about this, the horrible landscape that's gone to pot. We've talked about this before.
They're trying to sell that too, at least they were.
But whatever, they need to take all that crap out and re-landscape it. It's horrible looking. You gonna come back and tell us what's gonna happen? No, I know. You'll come back and tell us you've told them, okay. Thank you for who you are.
Mr. Strachey.
Oh, I'm next. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
You should let him go last. He's got all the props and everything, and I'll be quick.
All right, you go ahead.
Yeah.
It's up to the
Mayor,
mayor.
No, 'cause I'm
sorry,
gonna get
Mayor.
up and leave when he starts.
Go, you're on a roll.
Okay, all right.
Camera guy's already honed in on you.
What we did, we were there, I was there from Tuesday with Doug, from Tuesday to Sunday at the conference in Hollywood, Florida for the Florida League of Cities. Angela Christ is our director. She is the director of the Suncoast League of Cities. And about 2 months ago, she asked me to chair the home rule rally for the Suncoast League of Cities. Well, we came up with some crazy ideas and we had a quick meeting, of conference call on the phone. We came up with some crazy ideas and then we ended up having these hats. So anyways, they actually can fit better this way, and there we go.
There you go.
Well, when you have 40 people wearing these from around Pinellas
You got 40
County,
people looking silly.
you got the mayors and the council members wearing these at the rally.
Jimmy Dean, that's what it is, the
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean sausage.
Put it on, Tom?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay, all right. We had
In all fairness,
buttons.
I had like a barbershop quartet hat on and then that.
Yeah.
I didn't do.
Yeah, we had buttons, hands off home rule, I love home rule, and then Doug, you want to do the home rule?
I gotta tell you, it was like a Republican or Democratic convention at this thing. It was signs and they even had the columns with the names of the leagues of cities on them, and they did a great job, so.
There are like 18 different Suncoast League of Cities. There's the Atlantic League of Cities. There's the Treasure Coast League of Cities. Long story short, when the rally was over, our Suncoast League of Cities won a trophy for best use of theme.
All right.
We're not sure what the theme
This
was, but
little yellow hat won us an award, and this trophy will be passed around to the other cities. Dunedin's getting it next. Heather Gracie's taking it. Treasure Island's going to take it. All the cities around Clearwater, St. Petersburg, everybody will be taking our trophy around that we won, and only 3 awards were given away. So we were very excited to win that. So
we're
thank
not
you.
sure what the theme is because there's a baseball player on top.
Yeah, there's a baseball.
That might have been somebody's repurposed kids trophy.
Got the plaque right.
I think it was to suggest that that's how we should all go to Tallahassee.
With basketball.
Other than that, I wanted to just say that like Doug had mentioned, I think it was the best conference ever. It was so informative. The sessions were very educational for me. I learned a lot during that week, and I know Doug too. One of the biggest takeaways was the CFO from VBRO was there. He explained how his sales of vacation rentals.
No, Airbnb.
Or Airbnb, thank you. Airbnb are just skyrocketing. It's doubled in a year, the amount of people that are doing that. And what the biggest problem is, it's taking away from the local hotels. So there's an issue there that they're working on, but.
And it's a little bit bigger because I serve on the board of the Tourist Development Council with a bunch of hoteliers. And it's a little bit bigger problem than that. While they do collect tax, Airbnb does collect tax, as I understand it, they don't disclose what they're collecting tax on. So you don't really know if they're truly being transparent about that they're truly collecting the appropriate amount of tax and that it's getting to the right people. So it's a little sketchy. and one of the other components that, that the hoteliers have is, you know, these regulations of, you know, the hoteliers have to do, you know, fire inspections and health and safety, and, you know, every pool has to have, and hot tub has to have a handicap lift. And these Airbnbs don't have to adhere to that. So they are adopting some, as the one I said earlier, you know, some rules that try and limit that. Maybe you have to live in the house and be there, or it's got to be homesteaded, or they're really, because I mean, it's really becoming rampant. One, I can't remember the county, but one county, I thought it was like 30 or 40% of the residences in the county were VRBOs of some type or Airbnbs. And what winds up happening with that is 40% of your homes aren't lived in by residents. So that means they don't care about your schools. They don't care about the parks. They don't care about anything you got going on. They're just there for the weekend to party it up and get out of there.
But we will never solve it in the city of Oldsmar.
No, well, I mean, luckily we don't, you know, we don't have
We're
that.
blessed.
It's kind of funny.
We don't really have the problem here, though.
We don't. We had one in my neighborhood, but what's interesting is.
But that was you, Mayor.
I didn't realize that, yeah. But our HOA that we live in actually has more authority and teeth than our own city council. I don't know if that is the same, but if you have an HOA, the HOAs have.
The covenants.
Yeah, they had the covenants and all that, so I suggested that we just make our city an HOA and do it that way.
No, y'all, we all tell them what to do too much now.
I did have a suggestion at the vacation rental document. I said, one way to solve it is for us to buy a house next to every legislature in the state and open it as an Airbnb and have some parties and see if that solves it. So that's
good idea.
And then
I didn't mean to preempt you.
No, you're fine. And actually, the day of the rally, we had amazing speakers. There was the city of St. Petersburg, Christman, and the mayor of the city of Tampa.
Yeah.
And
Representative Peters.
Yep, Kathleen Peters was there. It was a long session. It was from 1:30 to 4. It was a long, afternoon, but it was well worth. The speeches were very motivational about home rule, and I thought it was a great thing. And one other thing, Doug. The only thing I want to say is our budget workshop. I just want to thank Al and Cindy and your team. I think it was one of the best budget workshops since I've been on city council. Very well organized, and I just wanted to say thank you to you guys.
We've had good workshops for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because of the same people
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yep, and that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Yep, I'm on my third read of the budget. So, yeah. Go ahead. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a long list tonight. I'd like to start.
Can you start with the last item?
Yeah, I'm going to go right to the last one. The only thing I actually have tonight is just a reminder, once again, for Celebrate Oldsmar. It's not this weekend, but next. If you've never been out to Celebrate Oldsmar, you have to go. To me, it's probably my favorite event.
It's a community. Yeah.
It's such a community out there. I love it when the fireworks go off. There's the music, and if you're ever out there, just look around when the fireworks start going off. This is the difference between living in a city and living in a community.
Yeah.
And I always like to do that because it's all the blankets out and chairs and the family sitting there and the kids are looking up. I mean, to me, it's just like such an awesome event. So a lot of hard work goes into that. So make sure you make it out there. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
And to that point, if you haven't been to the fireworks, probably one of the best displays, bar none, in the Pinellas County area, because I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's about, depending on the wind, it's about 19 to 21 minutes, which is a long time for fireworks. And if you've seen them before, the first wave goes and then it lulls a little bit, and then the second wave, and then it starts to lull and you think, oh, it's over, and then it goes again, and I've stood out on that pier where they shoot them off from. That's freaky, because you're from here to the back door away from.
I'm the next dock over.
Yeah, I know.
And
Would you like me to tell you how we have the fireworks on this?
I know it was a cancellation from 4th of July.
Okay, don't, because I don't want to upset him.
Got it. That's how it was. People liked it so much, they kept it there.
My grandkids are all excited about those fireworks. They can't wait.
Well, And I don't remember how long ago it was. We used to do them on the 4th of July, and so did Safety Harbor, and we stopped because A,
No,
we didn't want them both, and
no,
B, it
that's-
started raining all the time.
It rained,
Stormed.
when we put them, the first, at 4th of July, it rained 8 inches that day.
Yeah.
8 inches. We were standing out there almost knee deep. And so we said, this will never happen again.
Yeah, so we moved, plus Safety Harbor does it, so now we watch Safety Harbors from here, and they can watch ours from over there. I don't have really anything, so, yeah, definitely go out to that. It's free to get in, no charge, and it is kind of cool, especially now that box is off the stage. It's so cool to hear the band. The band does the national anthem, and I mean, I think it was last year, I was out on the pier, but there was a guy with a pickup truck, if you're familiar with the park, right there by the band shell, and he had an antenna on his truck, and he's got this board, and I said, what in the heck are you doing here? And he goes, this is where we launch them from now, because they used to go out by the firework, and they will launch them remote controlly, so I was getting on my phone trying to get an app so I could start firing stuff off, but that didn't work, but.
Hey, years ago, I was out there, I decided it'd be a good idea to take my boat off the ramp and go on over
Your
there.
boat filled with gasoline?
And go watch them from the water right there, which is kind of nice,
Yeah.
right? I convinced my wife this is gonna be great. We'll go out there and, get some cold waters in our hand out there, enjoying it. And right about then, they started going off, and all of a sudden, all this hot ash started raining down on us. That was about the time the sheriff's department came up and said, "You have to leave, sir. You're a little too close."
To the sheriff?
I'm like, "I came from that dock there." "Yeah, we watched you."
Oh,
Yes, sir.
you got a beautiful park right there, so. I don't really have anything else. Al, you got anything?
No, sir.
Tom? No, sir. Kathy?
Nope.
And?
Don't ask everybody in the place.
I didn't ask Gabby.